Winter Minstrels and Bards soirée. Yay! We have an incredible lineup. Sara Craig is going to share a song. We have Myna Wallin, Isabel Fryszberg, of course Karen Shenfeld, and Steve Paul Sims, accompanied by Bob Cohen. So let's just get started. I'm Brenda Close. Just welcome, happy to see you all, and hope you enjoy the show. Minstrels and Bards soirée is situated on Indigenous land and Dish with One Spoon territory. This is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Wendat, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Minstrels and Bards gratefully acknowledges these Indigenous nations for their guardianship of this land. And we're going to begin with Sara Craig. She's a Juno-nominated singer-composer. She's been singing for, 20 years plus. Welcome, Sara.
Thank you.
Bios are going to be short, but they're in the information wherever.
A friend of a friend stayed at my place a very long time ago, and I worked, and then I didn't even get to spend 1 minute with him, but he spoke Gaelic, and I'm an opportunist sometimes, and I said, could you please sing into my recorder, tape recorder, and I went off to work, and he left me a recording, and this is it. Oh, hey, no, oh, hey, Arian Makio, Makria Treus Ganyena. Hade ferraten natie, gana hanach gugleirein, gashit maharsh en verspracht, som they had van doches. Sheer nor ne riran affairs, gefeuert Gras in es nierst, suarach un arschest, gun ye adie. Oh, hey, ho, oh, hey, ho, Arian Makio, Makria Treus Ganyena. Horschen scale and Jubabach, Gejerton hud van Fach, Geschieht Maharschen versprach, the eye focht the glory. Oh, hey, oh, oh, hey, oh, Arion, Nachio, Machria Treum Scaniela. Thank you very much.
So beautiful. Oh, thank you. And another round for Sarah. What a gift. What a gift to have you come and open this salon this evening. Next is Myna Wallin. She's a Toronto poet and prose writer. She's been published all over the place. She's a fantastic poet. I love her. There's nothing more to say. Welcome, Myna.
And I love you too, Brenda. I was timing myself earlier, and I found I was so surprised that what I thought was maybe a minute and a quarter, turned out to be like almost 2 minutes. So I timed them all because I didn't want to go over. And now I'm blabbing. So what can I do? Anyway, okay. I'm going to start with a booklet a chapbook that Heather and I are both in, called On the Storm, in the Struggle, and it's edited by Adebe Durango Adem, and I was very happy to be chosen. So I thought I'd start with that poem. It's very short, and I had there it is. This is called Meditation on the Last Squirrel. Edging a narrow trail through a ravine, I see a gray squirrel scrambling amidst shivering trees, frozen ground. Will she starve? My pockets are empty. I don't trust her world to carry on. My vacant pockets hanging. I fear for the famished squirrel. No others are visible. While its babies wait in a nest, tiny bellies growling, and winter's chill howling, it's foraging for anything edible. Each day's activity is broken into less coherent parts as I bluff my way through seasons, finding death, the nut of everything, lurking in seething underbrush amongst sideways trees felled by old ice storms and erosion. So. Oops.
Careful.
I've had a day. Never did. I got a pneumonia shot, so anyway, I'm a little out of it. So this was published in Vallum in the Invisibility issue, and it's called Not My Fault, and it's one of the poems in my new manuscript. So. Subway trains screeching, homers, sirens shrieking, can't stop obsessive thoughts tackling other thoughts, someone pushing random buttons, brain glitches, chemicals reconfiguring, flashes, cosmic insight, memory lapses, onslaught of sensory input, thoughts of arson, self-annihilation, masochistic streaks of fasting, insomnia, sustaining oneself, absurd, dressing carefully to cover up strangeness, overwhelming urges to buy shoes, jewelry, paintings, pianos, lingerie, everything unaffordable, providing a high, temporary relief, from overloading circuitry with Epival, Respirodol, Halidol. The dolls make me drool, unspool, lying on the cool kitchen floor, finally falling asleep. So that's that one. Mania is, oh, sorry. Thank you. The next one is called Mania. It was published in Node magazine. It's a nice little magazine out of, never mind, I've forgotten, Calgary, I believe, University of Calgary. So this poem is called Mania. You could power the city's electrical grid with your personal dynamism. You are awake, present, ferociously excited, fascinated by everything. Mania sneaks up on you like tequila. You're Maria in The Sound of Music, twirling. The idea that sleeping is a waste creeps in. You are fully dressed, wearing galoshes, crumpled in a chair in front of the droning TV, absorbing the sunrise. Muddled. You can't sleep, not even by TV, not even a catnap. You're in deep space now. You call your boyfriend 3 a.m. Do you want to break up with me? Somebody is moving and hiding things in your home, creating piles of detritus, unpaid bills, medication. A Sprite hides your drink between sips. You tumble through weeks until self-preservation finally makes an appearance. When you see constant alarm on loved ones' faces, fearful for your cognition. Once the chaotic energy has wrung you dry, a weird clarity emerges, shaking a fist at a careless God. This poem is going to be in They Promise Me. I've signed a, have you ever had that where you sign a thing and they check on the spelling and you're waiting. So I'm still waiting. But they promise me it will come out. Anyway. In session. The troll, side-burned, pasty, pinned me onto 70s floor pillows with his stubby legs, hairy arms, fetid breath instructing me to primal scream. Set me free! Leave me alone, I shouted, till I was hoarse and worse, felt unclean, violated. Gratefully, such dubious pseudoscience has gone the way of hot pants and pet rocks. Part 2. The runaway model had pointy red talons, swanned into appointments in black wool cape and knee-high red boots, trailing a sweet perfume. Her eyebrows replaced with light hand-drawn crescents. Once, while I cried loudly and profusely, she called the lobby pharmacy to bring something soothing immediately. She didn't like demonstrations of grief, tried to dampen my depression with her soft voice. She employed her script pad with quiet enthusiasm. Once she invited me to her pristine home, marble, beige, with hallways of happy family photos, and asked me not to talk about my problems. This is a visit, not a session. Many years later, I spotted her at a restaurant, penciled eyebrows intact. She had no recollection who I was. 3. The Freudian had piercing blue eyes, a large balding head, sucked his pencil eraser and wriggled his seated groin, in gross flirtation. He was a smug bastard, a fan of rules, had me sign a form stating I wouldn't deal my prescription drugs on the street. Thin-skinned, furious, when I insulted, Did you get your diploma in a box of Cracker Jacks? His notes from our last session whitewashed, no mention of his ending our trysts like a guilty husband, or of me screaming that I was quitting him. Years later, he had emotional struggles and a serious breakdown of his own. I admit to a delicious rush of schadenfreude. Thanks so much for being so attentive.
Oh, Myna. That's wonderful. I love how you delve into relationship, into what goes on between us and different, kinds of relationships, including aging now. I mean aging people, not you. You're ageless. So wonderful. Thank you so, so much. And let's have another round of applause for Myna. So honored she came out to be a guest poet. And here we have the inimitable Isabel Fryszberg. So she works with a group called the Uncommons, and their songs are written or co-written by Isabel. She's an extremely creative woman. Her songs are beautiful, her lyrics are amazing. She's an award-winning filmmaker. Yes. She's an incredible artist. She does flowers, but like nobody else on the planet does flowers. What else do I need to say?
I think you wrapped it up.
She's won an award for her occupational therapy work. I mean, she's so multi-talented. Just welcome, Isabel.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Brenda.
Oh yes, you're more than welcome, and I love you too.
This is such a nice evening. It's nice to see everybody here. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Isabel.
It's nice to be with Bob.
Here comes your voice.
My voice is here. We're gonna get,
Guitar.
and my guitar is gonna come here.
You start and I'll adjust and then I'll come and play.
Oh, good. That'll be fun. How's that? All right. Well, this first song is about connection. It was inspired during lockdown times when, we couldn't connect, we couldn't touch strangers, or we were in a bubble, and it's called Distance. So, ready? Getting there?
Am I ever ready?
All right. Okay. I wanna get a little touch from you, kiss from you, embrace from you. I wanna get so close to you, but I'm gonna keep my distance. I wanna dance cheek to cheek with you, close with you, tight with you, all through the night with you. Someday we can talk till the night goes by. We can sigh and we can cry. We can walk towards the sky, and we can fly. Think to you. I can be so free with you, without distance. In my dreams I'll dance with you, drink with you, I'll breathe with you, I'll laugh real hard with you, and sing soft songs. We can talk till the night goes by. We can sigh and we can fly. We can walk towards the sky, and we can fly. Can't wait till the day comes by. We can meet on the street, walk hand in hand again, without distance. Walk hand in hand again, without distance. So does anybody here have a birthday coming up?
Eventually.
Eventually, yeah, we all do. Let me tell you, when I had my last birthday, something just hit me. It's like, oh no, a birthday? Where can I run? And I thought, wait a second, I got this script wrong. I have to somehow embrace this thing, embrace the age. And so the best way to get revenge is write a song. So this is called Persisted. I got birthday coming up, and I'm choosing not to run. I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna have some fun. Age may be a number, and mine's unlisted. I'm an older woman now. Got here 'cause I persisted. Whoa, 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 yeah, persisted. My face is weathered like the rocks of the sea. My body has new bulges where they never used to be. I got veins on my legs of their own design. That's my body's tattoo, you know they're working fine. I'm an older woman now. Got here 'cause I persisted. Whoa, yeah, persisted. Won the battles of sex, gender, and race. When can we accept the beauty of an aging face? Like Homo Bella Reed, I've endured the aches of a heart that knows no cure. I persisted. Whoa, yeah, persisted. Whoa, yeah, I resisted. Whoa, yeah, I'm an older woman now. 'Cause I resisted. Whoa, and I resisted. Whoa. Thank you. Here we go. And the next one. So, not long ago, about 2 or 3 years ago, I was listening to the radio and there was a really good interview with the poet A.F. Moritz, your colleague, right? Al. That's right, you call him Al. And in this interview, he said, life is a war. This is just at the beginning of COVID, and he wasn't referring to COVID, he was referring to life. And I thought, how can he be saying life is a war when he didn't go through a real war? But, you know, he reminded me of what I grew up hearing her say. And she went through a real war. Funny thing is, she died about 20 years ago. Now it's 22. And I never wrote a song about her until Al planted the seed. Sarah said, life is a chore. She was a child of the Second World War. Hunger for bread, barefoot in the snow. A Siberian labor camp we'll never know. Our first breath of air, one day will be the last. The keys of the accordion fly by so fast. Fierceness of love and the passage of time. Threads we carry, gifts we leave behind. La la loo, 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 la loo. She met Joseph on the dance floor. Fell hard for his looks, made her heart sore. Just weeks later, they were wed. No photos were taken, that's what she said. Our first breath of air, one day will be the last. Keys of the accordion fly by so fast. Fierceness of love and the passage of time. Threads we carry, gifts we leave behind. La la loo, la loo. Joseph, a carpenter, worked for us hard. Stories engraved on an immigration card. Sarah adored with a fervor and a flame until his heart stopped. She was never the same. Sarah had stories and books to write. Poems would leak out late into the Wight, the day she took her very last breath. She said, life is a war, and I'm not done yet. La la loo, 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 la loo, la la loo, la loo. Sing with me, la la loo, 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 la loo, la la loo, loo, la Yeah? So this, we can do it.
Oh, we can do it. We'll make it up.
So this is a true story. And in the tradition of minstrels, minstrels used to be the singers of news, right? They were the ones who would provide all the news that happened around.
And they would write it as ballads.
Exactly. So something happened in my neighborhood, and it was shocking. And there really wasn't enough news coverage on this story. So that compelled me to write this song. Ezra, Nessa, Vanessa. Ezra, Nessa, Vanessa. Fell off the tower so high, like angel cast from the sky. Marched for the houseless, cared for our world, until its weight crushed, spinning, unnerved. Workload kept piling up to the brim. Notice no money coming in. Plea for tenderness, cast away in waves. A truth teller, too young for the grave. All the dust turned Ezra to stone. How did this world leave them all alone? How did this world leave them all alone? Ezra wandered to the railroad in distress. Officer put Ezra on arrest. Doctor set Ezra on a 3-day hold. Next day they were left out in the cold. Ezra climbed up Jacob's ladder. City of Babel, nothing matters. Can we carry on increasing rent? Ezra landed flat on cement. Plea for tenderness swept away in waves. A truth teller, too young for the grave. All the dust put Ezra to stone. How can this world leave them all alone? How does this world leave them all alone? Mother bewildered when the news came to her door. something more. Cried for answers, just hitting a wall. Left with her child's fatal fall. Ezra, Nessa, Vanessa. Ezra, Nessa, Vanessa. Fell off a tower so high. Black angel cast from the sky. Black angel cast from the sky. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to be playing at Winterfolk February 25th and 26th. And so is Bob, so come on.
Which is at Kensington this year.
That's right.
Yes. Support.
That was amazing. Isabel.
Really?
It's like your songs are powerful poetry.
Is that why you asked me? Because I'm a poet?
Because I love you.
Anyways, thank you. It's been so nice to And if you like the song Distance, check it out on YouTube, Isabel Fryszberg YouTube. There's a great animation with watercolors. It's fun. And lots of other videos. So thank you.
Oh, that video is amazing. She's amazing. I'm so honored that she's come and played as a guest musician. We're very lucky. So we have our first feature of the night, Karen Shenfeld. Hey, Karen, just come all the way from Magnetawan to feature at my little series. I'm so honored and delighted. She's published 3 books of poetry with Guernica Editions. Law of Return, which won the Canadian Jewish Book Award in 2001. Fertile Crescent and My Father's Hand Spoken Yiddish. They are amazing books. I've read them all. And her latest book, To Measure the World, was published by Ecstasis in 2020. So we're just going to welcome you, and
Thank you.
so wonderful to have you here.
Thank you so much. Yes. You want me to switch?
Yep.
Okay.
Switch around.
He's doing some mic checks.
Magic. Magic. This one.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and yes, and I can see. Camera obscura. A chamber vaulted, urn dark, pin pricked. Particle or wave, the light followed its righteous path. Upside down, the moon's sickled sun howled. Stargazing in Morelia, and this is for my son's father. In the nautical twilight, you emerged from the stone hold of your rooms. Sensing motion you could not feel, you fixed your place on terracotta, swept fresh as a deck. By your own calculation, 101 degrees and 7 minutes west of Greenwich, 19 degrees and 40 minutes north of the equator. Knowledge, you repeated to me, is a prerequisite for love, and cocked your neck back to catch the evening star. No star, but a wanderer. You told me the warriors of this land called her Kurhiata Keri, tracked her path across the celestial sphere. You saw what they saw with your naked eye. Traced the arc of the ecliptic from Venus to Jupiter, your pupils dilated, round as moons. then moved about the patio, aligning your line of sight with tiles along the roof. One by one, you named aloud the stars of winter's hexagon. Counterclockwise from Capella, whose yellow light bloomed at your birth, to Aldebaran, the bull's red eye. The night was clear as Egypt's. On a marble tabletop, your tattered field guide to the universe, your flashlight, red cellophane blunting its bulb. Constellations are but convenient fictions, you said, then raised your right arm to single out Orion's belted pearls. You were my ancient mariner, sailing 6,500 feet above the level of the sea. For some men, stars still hold their sway. Afternoons, I find you staring, unblinking, at the too bright sky, the force of your gaze bringing each heavenly point to light. The Jade Sea. In a dream we came through brush and acacia to an infinite landlocked coast. The sea was no mirror, resolute, ignoring clear or clouded skies. It shone, basked in its own mineral light, was in a dream, dreamlike, its surface inscrutable. Below an airless garden, spine stars the swell of fish. I baptized myself in the sea's oriental green, swam open-eyed, was smooth, perfect, like the carved figure of a vase. Another poem from Africa, and I watched a woman washing clothes. So this is for all the women who do the work. Women at the river washing. Whenever the stream winds past the village, finding its way through a queen-sized bed of rock, or swollen tributary lumbers through shadows of copal laureate leaves, whenever the wadi leaps to furious life, you will find her. You may call her Susanna, but she is more likely Yasmin or Khadija, and it is not her own self she has come to wash clean. Propped on the bank, clothes pile the basket, calling her attention with their varied weights. Dutch waxed prints with which she wraps the narrows of her waist, or straps a milk-drunk baby to her back. Muscles flexed between sweat-polished skin, she rinses each charge in turn, the current massaging stray sleeves and legs, battling her grip. With a bold twist, rings a fine ring, then lays her sodden cottons out in a dry sunspot, the soap of angels descending downstream. I'm going to read a poem now for Alison Sutherland, and one of Alison's, two of Alison's dear friends are here. It was another woman at work poem, but this is for Alison, and it takes place much closer to home. Cherry picking for Alison Sutherland. She could not abide the unholy thought of a healthy crop wholly gone to the birds or thieving coons, or worse, left to ripen, rot, and fall on flagstones, rancid juices, staining like blood. She arrives at my back gate, nested buckets in tow, bare-headed, barefooted, braless too, a sexagenarian teen in ponytail, ratty tee, cut-off jeans. Rooted on terra firma, I look up, watching her. How casually she balances on the ladder's highest rung, an acrobat's audacity. With winged hand, she reaches over her head into the shadows, grips the tip of a flexile branch, bends it down to bow before her, offer its bounty for her taking. Cerise baubles dangling like her earrings on their wiry stems. Each second, the plop of a cherry dropped into her yellow bucket on the silver shelf. From a neighbor's maple, a mob of sparrows eyes her, twittering, "Leave some for us." With green bottle flies, she brushes aside my worries about the afternoon heat. "Worms? No matter," she hoots. "They'll add protein to the pies." 5 brimming buckets and she's done. For now. Home, she'll fetch the cookie sheets, line the cherries up like toy soldiers to freeze, then freezer bag. Perhaps you'll come by to help. Perhaps. Christmas, I'll lazily savor the fruits of her labor. Pies and radiant jars of jam. Sealed inside, the sweet tart blessing of her laughter, rising through darkening leaves and branches on a bright July sky. Sometimes I don't read the last part of this poem, but I'll read it. Epilogue. The cherry tree went first, a slow death, limb by fungus rotted limb. Hers was quicker, a mix of pills and booze. What remains? Flagstones circling a dried stump, a jar of jam glowing in the cupboard's night. Well, a number of years ago, about 15 years ago, I went a couple of times to the Isle of Wight, and I went there initially to read my poetry at Tennyson's house, and I went there also to work with a fellow who makes shortwave radio programs, and we did one following Keats's footsteps, a walk he took. We revisited that documentary, and Isabel Fryszberg actually did a beautiful cover for it. So anybody who buys one of my books while these last is going to get this for free, and it's a CD of the documentary that we did. And I'm very excited because I was invited back to the Isle of Wight just last week to read at a poetry festival there. I'm just chattering to break up all this poetry. And I was trying, I know it's like mine, I was timing things and also trying not to read things I've read before. So I'll read you new poems so you couldn't have heard them before. This one is called Nettles. Take good note of their leaves' lyrical shape. An ace's spade, toothed, fractal veined, deepest green. Rose-petaled round a furred stem, rising above your shielded knees. In 3 seasons, tinsel trimmed with sexed catkins, their blooms glowing yellow, purple, and white. You don't have to hunt, here, there, everywhere. They guard the blackberry paths, colonize a neglected garden patch. Do you care to know their trichomes are formed of silica, hollow hypodermics that pierce the skin, inject a toxic mix? Deaf, dumb, and blind, they lie in wait. You shudder, mourning the dogs lost to the thicket's Gatling gun of stings. Nettles are double-faced. The leaves are a rich spinach, the roots a healing tea. You can weave a cloth from the fibers of their stems. Each spring you are tempted again to pick them with a naked, loving hand. Just tell me, Brenda, how's it going? Okay, so actually in that radio documentary, the fellow in England, his name is Stephen too, I know a lot of Stevens. We interviewed a fellow, it's on that documentary, and at the time he was like 81 or 82, a fisherman. And he had, he's got a little restaurant, and his family also owned a place with a few little cottages. So I actually called 2 days ago to see if I could rent that cottage, and I could. And I saw that it was the same family owning it. His name was David Wheeler, and I saw Wheelers owned it. And I explained that I had interviewed David Wheeler, and I said, well, it must be your father-in-law, was the woman, and I thought he must have passed on. She said, oh no, today is his birthday, and he's 96, and he's still completely well. So I wrote this, and it's mostly a found poem, and you'll see why. It's called Steep Hill Cove. The cottages, washed white, stand the test, nestling close to the cliff, strewn by a giant's hand. Boulders bolster the stone-walled shore against the sea's wrath. I'm David Wheeler, he tips his cap, born 1927, same room I sleep in now. So I suppose I'm just getting used to Steep Hill Cove. Previously, the family were at Wheeler's Bay, and previous to that, right back to 1455, that's as far as we trace them, they were in the West Wight. So I suppose they've been around for a bit. They were very much to do with the sea, wrecks and smugglers and all the rest of it. The old fishermen could read the sky and things like that. They were pretty canny, they had to be. Me father used to fish this end of the cove, but I've and me sons, we've always fished the other end. We fish for crab and lobster. We catch what we need in the days of petrol and prices and things like that. Me two sons, they go fishing together. I've been retired for 2 years now. He combs the sand for treasures and trash. Against the sea's wrath, boulders bolster the stone-walled shore, strewn by a giant's hand. Nestling close to the cliff, the cottages, washed white, stand the test. I'm David Wheeler, he tips his cap, born 1927. Same bedroom I sleep in now. So I suppose I've gotten used to Steep Hill Cove. I never do this, and you can see I was scrawling on the poem, so I just was finishing this poem today. But it's entertaining. I don't know if it works, but I figure it's entertaining. Sacred Quest. The morning after the night she began to dream in English, Nilüfar left off her studies of particle physics to write the poem with no beginning or end. I am done, she proclaimed to her struck dumb professor, with the Jones polynomial, Wilson operator, all the goings-on in space-time. I want to write the poem with no beginning or end. She confessed to a friend who texted a cousin who emailed a sister who Zoomed an aunt. Have we not given the world enough poets? Her mother protested long distance from Shiraz. But none has written the poem with no beginning or end. And so she set forth each day for the Black Cat Cafe, chose her spot alongside the windows opening onto Grace. She never looked out, head bent over her moleskin, sonnet in hand. Electronic she deemed apt only for prose. When patrons glanced over her shoulder, she sighed. I am writing the poem with no beginning or end. If, when I'm gone, you chance to see her, still ensconced in the cafe, her ink-black hair gone gray, tell her her sacred quest inspired this verse. Should she hunt the dusty back-used bookshop shelves, she just might find it, preserved in some small press edition, long forgotten and out of print. So, I could try to play this song. So some of you were at my last reading, and some of you know that there's a fellow up north where I live named Andy McClelland, and he's a wonderful blues, jazz, folky guy. Actually, Jim knew him from Toronto, and before we moved up to Magneto, said, there's a fellow up there named Andy McClelland, and he knew another guy, Sean Cotton, too. Well, one night Andy was playing, and he asked me, he said, you're a poet, aren't you? And I said, yes, and he said, well, do you mind if I see some of your poems? Maybe I could write a song with them. So I just mailed him all my poems, and he's written about 9 songs, 10 songs. And I told him soon we'll have an album, and hopefully I want him to come down here and do a gig at the Heliconian Club. But for now, this is a poem I actually wrote years ago about the stripper, Gypsy Rose Lee. So. Which is better?
From hard-boiled roast to gypsy rolls, your star blazed in an accidental sky. Born the 2 cows, Grandma pressed a dust between the pages, Matthew and Mark. You redo fortune in cars leaves the lights bombs. Dainty Jude's clumsy newsboy, who would have guessed your fate? Meant to paint you as an enthusiast, which dance beer days out. harlequin, a pump and grind, your treasures out of sight. Much in mind, your poetry, pure suggestion. Beauty certainly, but I'd have your wit. Cinderlit has been slaughtered, balls and regiments. Small time with big time, with a proof of your puff. I gypsy, you steered your own course. Dear thanks, a monogram road. The roads are two continents, unrolled like fishnets.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Brenda, for having me. That's really
It's
nice.
been such an honor. Oh, isn't she wonderful? I mean, everybody's here.
No, she's the wonderful one. It takes a lot of work to organize an event like this, a ton of work. So everybody should be very appreciative. And she even films things, so tons of work.
Isn't she wonderful? Oh my goodness, we're gonna have a break now, a 10-minute break. And some really strong poems, strong images, very memorable. They were all strong poems. What am I saying? But very memorable images. Do you know? Yes. So there is a jug going around for the features. $10 donation recommended. I don't know where it is at this point. I think I started it in the corner of the room. So we'll be back at about 25 after. So get yourself a drink, do some quick chatting, you know. And we'll be back with our music feature, Steve Paul Sims, accompanied by the one and only Bob Cohen.
I'm the only one I know.
Yes, you're the only one I know. Okay.
Good work.
Okay, so we're back, and we have these beautiful musicians for the next half an hour. Steve Paul Sims is our feature. Steve Paul is a singing guitarist and sometimes actor. He's written hundreds of songs. He's an amazing singer-songwriter. His work is intricate and brilliant and often has humor. I love his stuff and I love him, and I'm getting to know this ordinary guy. He's a wonderful man too, but you have to be on his good side.
As if there is one. They're all bad sides. Watch.
So welcome Steve Paul Sims and Bob Cohen. Enjoy.
Thank you.
So glad to be here, and I won't talk a lot because I'm gonna want to get through a bunch of songs, but I will talk a little bit later on. This is a song called, we recorded a couple of years ago, called Some Sunny Day.
Can you just pull the mic down so it's not pointing too far? Thank you.
Better for you?
Yeah.
Okay. If it's better for you, it's
Well,
worse
you
for
wanted
me.
to. You want to sound
There we go. You grow and you change, but you always stay the same. You're as constant as your name, so they say. All the miles you may roam All the countryside you comb always brings you right back home some other way. Somebody wanders and somebody stays. Someone can't make her mind up for trying. She'll hang around just as long as it takes to decide. She should have been flying all the time. Why should I care? I got time enough to spare. You can bet I'll get my share some sunny day. You may win, you may lose, but you'll sometimes get the blues. It ain't nice and it ain't news, that's the game. Stick your head in a cloud, lose your face inside a crowd. They'll still call your name out loud when you're to blame. How long will you keep yourself to yourself? Do I have to come in there and find you? Raise all the hell you can possibly raise. You'll discover the worst was behind you all the time. Why should I care? I got time enough to spare. You can bet I'll get my share some sunny day. What's my game? Where am I going? Am I lost? And is it showing? Must my world always confuse me? Must the answers always lose me? Why should I care? I got time enough to spare. I will meet myself somewhere some sunny day.
I think that's my favorite.
Is it?
Yeah, I like them.
Until the next one.
Yeah. Didn't we do that one?
Yeah. It's a really old song of mine. I never got around to recording. I don't know why. I like it a lot. It's called Only a Weekend Thing. This is the one with falsetto. 1, 2, 3. Only a weekend thing. Only a 3-day fling. What makes you think you got through to me? What could 2 nights really do to me? I had you, you had me. I kissed you, you grabbed me. It happened, it happens. There's no sense in turning it over and over. It's something we do when we're grown up. Like adults, we've still got our separate lives. What's in a woman's name? Don't they all sound the same? Pauline, why she's one run around my brain. Look at me writing it out again. It's crazy, it's stupid, it's not what I asked for. Who needs it? Who wants it? Don't call me, I'll try to forget you tomorrow, the next day, whenever. Don't tease me, don't squeeze me, don't argue. I'm still
still in control. Yeah. Stop looking like you got the answer. You're not so smart, lady. Some pretty girl lets me romance her. She thinks that's the end of me. Bob Cohen. I had you, you had me, I kissed you, you grabbed me. It happened, it happens. There's no sense in churning it over and over. It's something we do when we're grown up. Like adults, we've still got our separate lives. What if I played along? What if it all went wrong? Falling in love like I did in school, setting myself up for ridicule. I doubt it, not this time, not next time, not ever. It's over, let's face it, erase it, get on to the next one. Somebody who doesn't ask questions, who'll smile and forget me and let me remain in control. You think I'm so easy to figure, my heart is on my sleeve. But I've seen what these feelings can trigger. Maybe you'd better leave. Only a weekend thing. Only a 3-day fling.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I like that one even better.
All right. Brenda mentioned that I'm a sometime actor. Like, that was my first tribe of people. This next tune had its origins in that I was working with the theatre company in Ottawa, the Great Canadian Theatre Company. We were doing a touring show up and down the Rideau Canal. But the point is that I was playing the bad guy in the show, and I was also playing the musician backstage. And
Same thing.
yeah, bad musician backstage. And there was one of the actors had to do a lightning fast costume change, and they needed about 30 seconds of music just to cover the thing. So I came up with this backstage, and then a few years later I added some words to it. It's called Dancing Shoes. We did a little kind of a recording
Yeah.
with your buddy, the tuba player.
You mean you're not gonna dance?
Oh, you can dance.
Dancing
Yeah, this
Oh.
this does have
Plenty of room
a
here.
bit of a Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly sequence in the middle of it. You're welcome. Here we go. Woke up, there's my baby gone. No, just said I'm moving on. Paid the landlord, paid the phone. Lord knows I paid some dues. She was everything to me. Every night we'd watch TV. She would watch Three's Company, and I would watch the news. On Friday nights we'd order out double cheese. I really thought that life from here on in would be a breeze. What can I do? Tell me now. Pick myself up off the floor, over by that kitchen door. I've got my dancing shoes. Look out. Dancing fever everywhere. Ginger Rogers, Fred Astaire got nothing much on me. Marishnikov and Sid Charisse, Karen Kane can't get no peace. Nothing can contain the beast. Oh me, oh my, oh gee. I think I'll watch myself tonight. I've seen the news before. Another gang of little boys is going off to war. Oh mercy, what can I do? Tell me dear, why'd you have to leave me here? All I got's this broken pair of lonesome dancing shoes. I said all I got's this lonesome pair of broken dancing shoes.
I like that one. All right.
There's a singer, a wonderful singer and songwriter named Karen Leslie Hall. She's moved out to, I think, Gananoque, that region, who's also a brilliant painter, by the way. She did a whole series on pears, the fruit. But a lot of years ago, she had a thing called the Song Along, which she staged at the Free Times Cafe and also at the Say What. And she'd invite X number of songwriters to write a song on any of one of 4 different themes. And you could write as many as you want. You could do 3 or 4 if you wanted to. But I wrote a few, I got a few good songs out of that song along. One of the themes was The Only One. And being kind of literal minded, I decided to make that the title of the song itself. This is a song called The Only One.
In F.
Yeah, in F, yeah.
All right.
So, and by the way, Bob's never done this, so.
I might get it right.
Want to start again?
Yes, I do.
Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There's only one, and everybody's looking for the only one. The moon, the sky, the stars, the sun. Choose a party, freeze a crowd. Everybody laughs too loud. They all pretend they understand the movement of an unseen hand. Out of their window and out of their mind, they shout at the deaf and striptease for the blind. Waving their vagabond hearts in the breeze, inviting the the cynics just think what they please. Lunatic lovers haggling for pain. There they go, living the same old refrain. Only one, there's only one, there's only one, and everybody's looking for the only one. Moon, the sky, the stars, the sun, choose a body, freeze a crowd. Everybody laughs too loud, they all pretend they understand. Moon, the sky, mumbling an oath of revenge in his glass, indifferent to curious heads as they pass. The name of his sweet one tattooed to his chest. The old jealous lover with undying quest. Has anyone seen her, my darling Lorraine? God help anybody who causes her pain. Only one, there's only one, there's only one. Everybody's looking for the only one. The moon, the sky, the stars, the sun, choose a body, freeze a crowd. Everybody laughs too loud, they all pretend they understand the movement of an unseen hand. Only one, and only one, there's only one. Everybody's looking for the only one. The moon, the sky, the stars, the sun.
I'll be Bob. I like that one too. Yeah.
Well, I don't like the chart much, but I like the song.
Oh, he doesn't like the chart much. Okay. Well, I hope you're liking this guitar as much as I am. This guitar was a parting gift to me from Karen's wonderful man, Jim. Quite unexpected too, by the way. And he wanted me to have it. And apart from being a wonderful friend of mine, in many ways, Jim introduced me to half the people in this room. I mean, I play this room anyway, once a month, and I have a whole other crowd, overlaps a little bit, but I met Bob through Jim, I met Brenda through Jim, I met Karen through Jim, and Paula and Linda Stitt, and I guess Jennifer, and you know. So that's a big deal for me. And I'm gonna do a song from my all-time favorite movie star. And it goes a little bit like this. Yeah, jump ahead a little bit. Maybe we'll come back. What have we got? 2 more? Is that the idea?
We gotta be done by 8, so yeah.
What time is it?
It's 10 to 8.
Okay. Well, let's
Is there
do this.
anybody
and
after? Is there anybody after?
Oh,
Oh.
no, it's finished.
Time for 10 songs if they're 2 minutes long.
Well, that was
Let's go.
one.
I like to go to the movies. I'm old-fashioned that way. I like to sit in a big dark room in the middle of a blazing August day. Sometimes I have to watch DVDs because they don't play what I want to see. From Gobble to Brandel to Peter O'Toole, Cagney and Edward G. And anything with Ingrid. Anything with Ingrid. Anything with Ingrid. don't care. Anything with Ingrid, anything with Ingrid, anything with Ingrid, I'll be there. Yes, I know all about the seven seal, cries and whispers too. But Ingrid's the only Bergman for me, a moody old man won't do. How can I get to Rick's Cafe on the Orient Express? Have an indiscreet intermezzo at the Inn of the Six Happiness. Anything with Ingrid, anything with Ingrid, anything with Ingrid, I don't care. Anything with Ingrid, anything with Ingrid, anything with Ingrid, I'll be there. Turn on the gas light, I feel notorious tonight, and I'm spellbound by your smile. Just looking at you, kid, it's not so much the things you did, but you did them with some style. Here's to Carrie and Gary and Spencer and Leslie and Bogey and Boye and Bing, Gregory, Pat, Tony, Perkins, and Quinn, and Yul Brynner, the Siamese king. What a lineup of cinemas, luckiest boys and the cream of their fortune by far, as they all got the chance to gaze into the eyes of that bright international star. Anything with Ingrid, anything with Ingrid, anything with Ingrid, I'll be there. When America came to condemn you and Hollywood said amen, Ingrid, you carried on living your life till they came to their senses again, raising your beautiful children, acting to save your soul. Just by being yourself, you set such an example. That was your greatest role, yeah. To the bridge. Princess Anastasia on a Roman piazza, with the world's paparazzi at your garden gate. Joan of Arc in a brand new play. You're the toast of the great white way. A photographer's sweetheart, a director's mate. Your papa put you in front of a camera, but the rest of the world kept you there. You keep me pinned to the edge of my seat with that voice and a beauty so rare. I'll live that movie at least 7 times. I could watch it a dozen times more. Now for home do the bells of St. Mary still toll. Tell me when I count to 4, 2, 3, 4. Ingrid, 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 I don't care, I really don't. Anything with Ingrid, anything with Ingrid, anything with Ingrid, I'll be there. Do that without yeah. All right. Wow, short one. We're coming up with a short one. Go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got some foreign body in my system, some chemical I swear does not belong. It makes me want to hurt the ones who love drink the drinks in me. So lock me in the dungeon, won't throw away the key, and let's let all your innocence go free. In my bones, in my bones, in my bones, in my bones, in the marrow of my bones. The disease runs deep, it infects my sleep, and it answers all my prayers with sticks from stones. You see that woman smiling at her daydream. She thinks he looks to be a gentleman. No, 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 no. They make some idle chit-chat on the subway. He plays the debonair as best he can. They move into each other's social circle. She sees the creeping madness in his eyes. He tells her she's a loser, torments her till she cries, contaminates them both with filthy lies. In my bones, in my bones, in my bones, in my bones, in the marrow of my bones. The disease runs deep, it won't let me sleep, and it answers all my prayers with sticks and rolls from each stone. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you very much, everybody.
Absolutely terrific. It was just a great song to end on.
Yep.
Do I have the mic? Is the mic on?
It is. You gotta tuck into it.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming out. I want to thank Sara and Myna and Isabel, Karen, Steve Paul, and Bob Cohen. Thank you so much. The next event I'm running is a birthday bash. It's March 7th and it's in the living room. It's my birthday. It's going to be with me and Mark Ripp. We're not probably going to have a lot of readers. I think Pat Connors is going to read because there's going to be cake and we're going to chat and then we'll all go out for dinner afterwards. So you're all welcome. You're all invited to that. The next Minstrels and Bards is the end of April with Beatrice Hausner featuring an Al Moritz. And I do want to remember Gianna Patriarca, who was one of our guest poets tonight, who had to cancel because of illness. So I want us all to just send her wonderful healing energy. Gianna, we want you back. And have a great evening. It's been wonderful. Love you all. Good night.